Okay. Do you want to start, Chewy?
Sure. Uh, Intentions, uh, sync, uh, maybe talk about that idea of the T Scouts, see how uh, that idea is growing in this working group. Distractions, no distractions today. I pass it to Tam.
Cool. So I guess the thing is that campaign and sort of progress there, and to let people know about their impact hours. Maybe just catch up on, what we talked about, the article about the Hatcher's point of view and the closing of this working group, how we are going to structure sort of, it's the first working group that will be dismantling. So it's an interesting, like we're going to set the model for how to dismantle a working group, which I think is cool. So that too. And I love the idea about talking about this squad. Yay, excellent. I'd love us to talk about that too. And I have no distractions, but I'll pass to Zach.
Thanks, Tam. Yeah, my initial intention was just to think and see what's going on, but the two topics you both raised, they look super interesting, and yeah, looking forward to do it. Yeah, to see it, and I'll pass it to you, Edu, and I don't have any distraction.
Nice. Intention for this call is to just basically what has been said previously by Tam and Shui, and just to have a brief update on anyone's messages that they send to outreach people. And distractions, none. The cat, as usual, but that's it. So, where shall we start?
Maybe we start with the, I have the agenda in front of me, but I'm not sharing it. The Hatcher Outreach campaign. Yeah, we have, Eduardo and I did a little bit this morning. Let me see if I can bring up some of this, I'm saying 5 things at the same time, sorry. So I synced up with Craig on the mix-up in the spreadsheet. He was doing some Excel acrobatics, and we had a misalignment with the spreadsheet. So the first few columns and the last few columns were now mismatched. So we sort of lost our place of who we've outreached to and who we haven't. So Eduardo and I reverted to a previous version where we have before those machinations. And Craig lost a bunch of his work. So I was like, okay, well, you can revert back to the reversions. So I made a copy of it. So now as we're updating, we're doing Hatch Outreach. As we're updating those, let me try to bring it up. Oh, I can't bring it up. That's right. As we're updating those, there's something called a duplicate of Hatch Outreach or Impact Hours. I don't remember what the name is, but where you could use that one to do the updates. And Craig is going to use the older one to redo and sort of refine some of the objectives that he has for that file, some of the updates. And then tomorrow morning, I'm just going to move back all of the changes we made into that and like merge those two. So that's sort of an update on the spreadsheet. And so, it's taking us a long time to get through this. And so Eduardo and I in our daily sync this morning, we're like, okay, we're going to dedicate 10 minutes and just in those 10 minutes, this is all we'll do. And then the first 10 minutes went by and I was like, I sent it to one person, because it's like, it's one person and it's somebody that I did my outreach with, and it's somebody like really deep in the token engineering community. So I made sure it's like a very personal message and very catered to him, and really like, stressing the import of like why he is so important to be in this community. So it was like this really thoughtful letter to someone, and that takes time. And then I was like, okay, we'll do 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes. And after that one, it was like, I did one. And it was like the same situation where it's like, sure, it happened to be Sherman actually. And I was like, I don't want to just like drop this cold message in their Telegram like a robot, it's just like, hey, Sherman, you are someone, and here's why we want you. And this is what I admire about, like, all of these, like, the really personal touch to these messages. So I did a few this morning, and that was sort of the that was the MO of how they're getting done. But I want to say what I was very happy to see is that we did everyone with over 14 impact hours. So yay, success. I mean, that was our main objective, and now we'll still continue to go through them, but at least we have that success now. Everyone who's had more than 14 impact hours has been personally reached out to. And now I'm doing a second follow-up with some of the people who still haven't activated their membership. So that's it. That's the update there. I don't know, Eduardo, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I want to ask. I asked this question to Lauren since she doesn't come to this call often, but I wanted to ask Craig, and Septimus if you had any answer from people you sent messages to, and if any of them needed onboarding sessions or anything further.
Me personally. Oh, go ahead, Craig.
Sure. So let's see. I think one of them actually successfully applied on mine. And then another I have interacted with, and she seems like she's going to do it, or maybe already has. I haven't checked. And then there's a third that I reached out to that is Silence. And that is Barada. Some of you might know Barada, at least the name. Yeah. And that's kind of been the history there with that individual over time. They make funny jokes and don't have really a seeming interest to engage. But that could also just be me as well. I think those are the only 3 individuals that I've reached out to.
Yeah, for me, like, it's still like almost like the same. I only reached out to Daiti and Will Grieve. Daiti is still not answer, and Will Grieve, I explained him all the steps he should make, and if he's already if he's applied or not, that I don't know. But if not, that would be interesting. If he's not applied, I could try to reach out to him again because he was engaging.
Weren't there other at your name, Septi?
I am confused. I don't know where should I look at.
There is one called ACC. Oh, no, sorry, you're right. There's only 2. Yeah, just recap.
Awesome.
There was some.
I'm lagging a bit.
A bit of a lag. Is it me that?
Yeah, I hear lag too. Maybe it might be Discord. Is it okay now?
Okay.
This is Discord's last update, actually.
Yeah, it's good now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What did you say, Tam?
Yeah, I was saying there was 2 that were Zepti had. It had something, his name, but I don't think he contacted anyone yet. So I just took them. I think it was Paco Backback and Free Damba. I don't know. It was Paco. It was something. I saw Zepti's name in the status, but I was like, okay, if he hadn't did it, I'm just gonna jump in and do it.
Yeah.
I don't, because I remember we had a conversation.
Awesome. Yeah, I did.
So
it's awesome, Tam. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I also thought it wasn't clear. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to, anyone who hasn't been contacted, I'll just jump in and do it. And then for Barada, we know him from the book club. Barada was pretty active in the Governing the Commons book club. I think that, Craig, you sort of hit the nail on the head. I don't know how, I don't know how much he wants to dive into other things. He's probably extremely busy with all the other projects he's working on. But maybe I will, through the book club, sort of reach out to him as just a second feeler.
Sure, that works. Definitely, if you have interacted before, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that will be all on updates. I mean, part of the campaign, it's the next step, which is the scouts. So we can talk about that. Shui, do you wanna fill in so everyone is on the same page with the scouts?
Yes. The idea is to have like scouts, people that are that hang out and get around DAO communities and just like spaces where people with an interest in token engineer may hang out. Um, and I think like a perfect example of this that is pretty like known to the community is Meta Verde. Like she's everywhere. So she gets close to like different communities, and she's just like a great with relations in the space. So the idea is to like in a way like handpick some people and build like this profile, provide them with this set of tools so that they can have like specific goals and specific targets. Um, like Gauntlet, for example. Like Griff has mentioned that we've been trying to get close to Gauntlet like forever, and we really don't have like any like entry point, and as far as we know, they're more like interested in like the games part of it. They don't really get hyped with the whole like public good funding, right? So the idea is to like provide this set of tools for these people, like for the scouts, um, to reach out to these communities and to have like for them to be able to like establish a set of goals and get closer to these communities around these characters. So the idea though would be not to like impose anything, of course, but to be able to spread the message in a more clear and just like pitchable way. You know, like if you come like inside this community call, and I was just trying with this. I found like this group called like Phoenix DAO or something like that. I can remember. I'm gonna look for it. But this community pretty much have like has like different like crypto enthusiasts, and I was seeing that they're mostly like predominant in other regions. So I was seeing that they had like this spotlight because in another Discord server they came in and they were like, hey, we're looking for like contributors because we have this thing like kind of like a spotlight. So I like wrote to them, and I was like, hey, I could definitely love like introducing token engineering. They were like, yeah, that could be great because I mean we've heard of token engineering, but we don't have like a like clear what it is, like a clear definition. So it might be a good opportunity. And the thing is that you never know what you're gonna find in these communities. So the the scout program uh, would be more of like like personalized like marketing, and it would be like this tool for reaching out to people that we want to reach out and who we want to like communicate the TEC with, and yeah, this is like roughly the idea. So I think it's something that could be developed in collaboration with like comms and Hatcher Outreach. Like now that it's disappearing, maybe we can come up with a very like practical use for the information and tools that we already have.
Yeah, I think the Scout as an implementation of the next working group that is dedicated to community building. I think that it's part of that. I see it as part of that process to sort of connect with other communities. And one of the arms of action of this working group could be the Scout. And I think it could be a nice starting point for a following working group. That could be starting as a collaboration for now in between Hatch Outreach and Comms, and eventually can take its own shape and form. What do you think?
I feel like the idea is fabulous. It's, I'm so glad that you brought it up, and it is, I actually think it's a shift from what we had been looking at. We had been thinking about one person who would be, the person to reach out and connect projects and such. but I like the idea of a group of people, sort of have this, I know, their fingers on the pulse and participating in other communities, and their mandate could be things like, just spread the word, like ambassadors in some ways, or advocates, and this other idea of bring people, let people bring awareness to the proposals, that it's possible to submit proposals to the TEC for funding. So I really like the idea of the Scouts as a concept. It sort of also clicks with, Jeff has been talking a lot with Common Stack around having the same thing, like creating a package that we can create for people so that they can go make this, disseminate this information in a human to human way versus Twitter and Medium and Discord and forums, but sort of spread this information, spread the word to other people. So I think it's a great idea. I think that you bring up a really great candidate, Metaverde, and others as well. I guess my question is, what do you think are the next steps, and when this is something that it is like deployable?
I think that we could probably start now. The other candidate I can think of is Aiden. Like I myself, I'd like to also submit to be a scout. And yeah, we could probably start. I'm sorry, what was that, Aiden?
No, yeah. Who was the second guy that you mentioned?
Aiden. Yeah, he's he does comes in long tail financial.
It will be perfect. I just helped him to apply, literally yesterday.
Yeah, you probably got some of his energy. I remember that one-on-one with Tam and Katie. Yeah, his energy is just impressive. So yeah, I think this specific profile can help us a lot with these goals, the set of social skills that that are attached to to the profile of the T Scout, right? So I think a good approach could be to reach out and try to find a space during the week in which we can work in this. I think that I mean that my only concern would be that they are both Pacific Standard Time, and also I think I'm an hour behind New York. But yeah, if we can find something during our mornings and your afternoons, I think it could be a great idea just to start a hack session on, okay, what can we do to get more token engineers? And actually, Aiden already has a small project of his own, and Jake also helps him a lot with kind of reach out, so that they're very interested in having a broader not contact list, but just community awareness. Let's say they want to be more aware of who does what in the whole space, and yeah, I think some of their ideas can help us with the starting point, and also we have a bunch of much more practical information that we could start using immediately. So yeah, that I think that could be a great first step. Just setting a hack session around it, try it maybe for a couple of weeks. I do think, I am convinced that we're gonna find a great utility for this session, and if so we can probably start to take some steps.
Why not this one? Why not this time slot? I don't know, Eduardo, how do you feel about using half of this time slot for the Scouts? Like half for the Hatch Outreach and half for Scout? Because this was always sort of like half Hatch Outreach, half projects, and it sounds like the
Yeah.
Scouts is becoming the entity that will assume the responsibility for projects, which sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you, Eduardo, do you agree? And Chewy, it's a good time zone for PST, right? 6 p.m. It's like 9 a.m. What do you
Let
think?
me check really quick. I think it's good. I have a few community calendars, and I don't think One Hive or Metagame has some stuff, but I don't think it's one of the groups from Metaverde. So I think it works fine for me. If you guys don't mind replacing this the AMA time with this, I think it works okay.
Yeah, me too.
What do you mean the AMA time?
Because Livy passed the AMA to 6 p.m. now. So the AMA, it's happening right now. So that's what he meant. There is actually 3
Oh,
people
yeah.
at the AMA right now.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Well, I
Yeah.
guess the question is, who's going to be leading that? Chewy, are you leading the Scouts? So sort of coming up with all the next steps and agenda and all of this stuff, and then we can just carve half an hour at the beginning or the end of this meeting for that.
I can definitely support it. Like I could work in like the initial steps of the agenda, but as far as like taking like a lead for scouts, I would like to just try it for a few weeks, like see how big or how small our short term like objectives might be before making an actual commitment. Because well, yeah, as you know, Tam, with the whole with comms by itself and now Paris, so I just don't want to like get too much on my plate and start like lagging behind again, and you know this stuff. So, but I could definitely like start attending this at this time, and yeah, come up with some ideas.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you think half an hour is enough? Like, I guess 30 minutes is a good start for that, right? So maybe we say 6:30 to 7.
yeah, I will do the hack session first to understand the scope of what will be our initial steps, and based on that, I will define the time and the following actions. I think we are now like on the blind a little bit.
Cool.
Hello, Greg.
So
Okay,
should
good.
we just, hey, Greg. Cool. So I guess we invite Metaverde Aiden to the next week to have half of this be a hack session for the Scouts. That sounds great. And
Yeah.
Chewy, it's good for you, of course, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you want to invite the Scouts to the next one? This is fun.
yeah, I can reach out to them and see if they're available. Also, well, I recently saw that Jake joined the server again, and I just wanted to ask, since I'm not really aware of like what the resolution of the gravity consists of, but I just wanted to like openly ask if it could be like a good idea to invite him over.
At least for me, I don't have any issues with Jake. I think it's all cool. I mean, it's not all cool. We didn't finish the gravity work, so that would be nice, of course, to finish the gravity work. But you can talk to him about where he's at, I think, and yeah, I don't really know.
Okay, I'll try to see how that is, and if he's interested, yeah, hopefully he can be, and if not, it's understandable. So it's like no hard feelings.
Did you
And
say in what? What's the context?
sorry, TE Scouts. Like we're trying to take some steps towards formalizing the project and see if we can come up with like some short-term objectives and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, check with him. I don't know if he's going to be a good representative for us to the external world. That would need to be felt out a little bit before just throwing him on. He still deletes some forum posts sometimes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I would tend to concur with that. I would say let's be very welcoming to him, of course, because he's amazing. But maybe not. Let's see. Let's take it easy there, I think, right? And see what happens. Have some conversations, have some meetings with him, and see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like internally making for comms, like making memes and doing some writing that gets checked by people, and that kind of stuff is a great way to bring them back into the fold to start and then get a vibe before. But I would not put him straight into external interfacing.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Cool. Should we move on to Scouts, or just to give you a quick update, Griff, as you just joined, the Scouts idea is happening. It's so exciting. And Chewy's proposed a Metaverde, Aiden, and himself to be the sort of first Scouts of Scouts. And we'll have a hack session in here, in this space, maybe half an hour of this space. To sort of see what the Scouts need to get started, what kind of materials they need in order to be effective, and such things. And yeah, cool. So that'll start next week. Chewy, it's you that's going to invite Metaverde and Aiden, right? Just to make sure.
I'm writing to them right now.
We do.
I can write to Aiden, mainly because I have a conversation already with him. But if you have a conversation already with him, Chewy, go ahead.
Yeah, you could mention it to him, Edu. I don't think it's an issue. Also, he gets distracted sometimes, so let's try both.
I was gonna say, I think Aiden has a conversation with everyone at the same time.
All right.
Yeah, which is cool. Okay, cool. So should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
Around this idea is like a model for how to dismantle a working group. What does that look like? What kind of ceremony do we have, and what kind of sort of wrap up document do we have? I know that you've been thinking about it, Eduardo. Do you have any updates you want to share?
Yeah, I have a rough document that I would like to share probably during the next session. I think there are some points that I would like to bring to the transparency call also, just to check with certain aspects, just to have an overview with Septimus also before presenting the document. But I think it came out very simple, at least for me, and then it's a work in progress. So I think for this sprint for sure will be drafted and ready for feedback if needed. And yeah, that's the update on that end. I also have to sync with Livy just to check with her regarding SoftGov if she has any feedback on that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, and then I guess the last thing on our agenda, unless we add anything else, is the idea of the piece for the point of view of a hatcher.
Yes.
The one that we discussed last week. Is there any more thoughts around this?
I'm really excited about that.
Back, and then
Sorry.
I don't understand the topic. Could we have some background?
Yes. Sorry. Thank you. It's basically a piece that will serve to understand, like, they remember that we talked about the video that you did about Lauren. That was the first starting point for this, which is basically there's perspective from the hatcher of how it's gonna affect them, how it's gonna be for them. Hello, Livy. how it's gonna be for them, the hatch basically, and the parameters that has been chosen, and therefore to open a space where they can ask questions about it and sort of have this horizontal approach, so everyone can have information that it's gonna sort of affect them in a way, or that they need to know because they're gonna be hatchers. So it's about having this piece that compiles this information and that it's like accessible and quite simple.
Thanks, Edu.
Hello there, Libby.
Hello.
How did it go with the AMA?
It was nice. A couple of people came. There was Mark. He was super excited about next action steps. He was like, I voted, and then I wanted to participate in the test hatch, but I didn't see it was happening until it ended. And then he was asking if we were going to communicate wildly what people needed to do once the hatch was going to happen. He said it would be lovely to have like graphs to what are the steps, like do we need to get wrapped X die, how do we do that, a few of those information ready for people that are not so familiar.
It's at least a little bit of the POV also we just talked. Is this piece of information that will kind of help hatchers that need a better understanding of the process they're gonna get into. So yeah, but that's nice. Is there anything else on the agenda? I don't think there is much, but you're muted.
That is the it's okay. Do we have an update of the? So it's interesting that the feedback's really good, actually, Livia, and I think it's this article that Eduardo is talking about as well, sort of like the point of view from a hatcher. Okay, I'm gonna hatch. I think there's two things. It's like what do I need to do to become a hatcher, which maybe we also need something for. And then the piece that Eduardo was talking about is like, I'm a hatcher. What do these parameters mean to me? Did I describe this well? And then Griff, maybe do you have an update? Is it's what I need to do to become a what do I need to do to become a hatcher? Is that something that Mitch is working on with like how you could get wrapped X die and these things? Do we know if somebody? Maybe you know if somebody's already working on that in comms?
The wrapped X die forum post already is up. I'm pretty sure. So like how to get wrapped X die and all that.
Shall we update the forum post of how do I become a hatcher? Is there any need for that update of that forum post that you created, Griff?
I think it's still up to date. I mean, I think the only thing that needs to be there is a link to how to get wrapped X die, or maybe some more links could be interspersed, so it's a little more, reinforced when they get to a step that's short but they don't understand, like how to get wrapped X die. But that's only like maybe add a couple links, but I think it's still pretty solid. Nothing's changed.
The forum post does a pretty good job, and we're also like once we get closer to the hatch, we're planning on also like tweeting with some supporting graphics and yeah, just try to cover it that way in a more like immediate communication way. But yeah, the forum post covers also like 3 different methods, I think.
Yeah, that forum post is really good.
What if we use the what if we use the website to be like this landing page for hatchers, and then everybody knows that's that, and all the updates we keep like just throwing in there, and then we can have a count for the hatch happening there, so people know more or less when it's going to happen. All this information.
Yeah, I think it could be really nice if we kind of picked the puzzles, the pieces of the puzzles that people needed in order to understand the hatch, and put it there in the website so people can like, because picking just information about the hatch and putting it there, I think it would be chaotic. But if we just kind of pick the main pieces that are needed for people to understand it or to have updates in the website, it could be really nice to have this kind of
Yeah.
this information filtered.
Now we're talking about the website. I don't know if that's allowed, but would be like it would be possible like to link a swap between, I don't know, let's say XDAI to Rapid XDAI or some other coins on our webpage that are linked, let's say, to Honeyswap or some other platform. I mean, since it's open source, it should be allowed, but I'm not sure, and it would be super cool.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I skip? Can I leave the call? Someone is ringing my bell, so can I skip the? I will join. Thank you.
Escape. No, you're a prisoner.
Now you're the leader, Tam.
Now what?
Nah, it was a joke. Like, you're the leader.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We let the prisoner escape. Man. I wonder, so do we think we can reuse that for this, what steps are needed to become a hatcher? Or Livia, what I really want to hear is, what do you think, I'm going to share this just so maybe we can outline here. What do you think we need? What do you think we need in order for there not to be the confusion that you're hearing for the AMA? Do you think that piece is repurposable, or should there be another kind of piece that's very just like step 1, step 2, step 3? I mean, I guess.
Well, I thought about the website just to have a place that it's clean of any upcoming information. You know, the forum gets like buried with new messages, and same with Discord. So having something that the main page would be that permanently, not permanently, but more so than the other ones.
So on this website, we mean like somewhere here, it would be what steps to become a hatcher?
Or maybe like a button, like I'm a hatcher, and then like I don't know. Yeah, it could be in the front page, or I mean, it has been working well also that people who have questions just come to the AMA or reach out to Katie.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm thinking about all the sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm on a little delay. I don't know why. I'm really sorry. You could finish.
I'm thinking what, like all of the people that we reached out one-on-one, what is the best way to keep them informed without overwhelming them? So maybe just having like one single place of one source that they can look at their own pace.
So the question was more about how could I have participated in the dress rehearsal than how do I participate in the hatch? Is that because we didn't send out that piece? You know, we did like, hey, you can vote, and we did you're going to lose impact hours if you don't activate your trusted seed, but we didn't do individual outreach for it's time to participate in the dress rehearsal. There wasn't that. Okay. I guess what I want to understand is, do we think that the article we already have that Griff published on the forum is reusable or usable exactly as it is. So we could say, here is how to participate in the hatch. Step 1, make sure your trusted seed is activated. Step 2, have wrapped XDye. Step 3, fund the hatch. And then there's other stuff that's going on. And if you want to be in this sort of the minutia of what we're doing, there's forum posts where you can see it's time to vote, it's time for a dress rehearsal, it's time to participate in this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, step one might be follow our Twitter and wait at this point. You know, like I feel like the Twitter. I don't know. Is the Twitter not the best place for updates? Check our website and wait, or like, you know, where are we gonna promote this either the most? I assume it's Twitter is where we want to put them, but maybe we have a special hatch Twitter that people follow or something that is a little bit more targeted.
That sounds interesting.
Maybe it's too early, but what about Reddit? Or is it not a good platform for that? Like, I mean, I normally use Reddit a lot, so I feel like it's a good platform, but I don't know. Like, yeah, we can find other kind of people, but since we're using also Twitter, so I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if there's that many token engineers hanging out on Reddit. If there are, then absolutely. But I honestly, I'm not sure. The scouts will know.
Yeah.
Or perhaps like a news/hot topics panel on the tecommons.org homepage that links out to the most recent forum posts. I think that's a little bit of the barrier, unfortunately, is that it's like another click. Sadly, sometimes a click is too much. But I don't know if that's an option. Just a small little like, here's what's currently happening rather than here's our mission kind of thing.
Yeah, to this point, Leah and I were talking about this and sort of the feedback around this, being a high attention community. So you have to be on Discord or on the Twitter, and the idea that there's some real appeal to people who still use email to have the digest of what's happening in the forum once a week. And then you just look through it and like, boom. So we started talking about this, like, okay, we'll have the stewards update, right? So once a week before that time, either we change the time that goes out, but like maybe 12 hours or 24 hours before that email digest gets sent, we have the stewards update. And and this is sort of like the ideal would be we update everything for the sync on Thursday. On Friday, we do this post, the forum post, which is the stewards update. And then it gets sent out on a digest, and people will just see what's up to date every week without joining the calls, without following our Twitter or like going through our Discords. Chewy has some really good ideas around a template for it. And I think he and Katie are going to work together on making that happen, maybe this week, if not this week, then next week. And I think that can be a nice way. That can be a nice way to be like, hey, this is the week for the dress rehearsal. Here's what you do. Hey, this is the week for voting. And I feel like I really like the One Hive, like all of the forum digests that I get from other DAOs, I love so much because I just scroll through the latest forum posts and click on one or two that I like. And that's the way I know what they're doing.
That sounds great.
And Chewy's doing this for Common Swarm already, although I think are you posting it on One Hive's forum as well as TEC forum?
It's in
Or
both
just One Hive
forums.
forum?
Sometimes some changes are made, like depending on like in like the TEC, you can use like concepts like much freer, like and with the Common Swarm, it has to be a little bit slower because people sometimes aren't as familiar. So yeah, I mean, other than slight changes, it's pretty much the same updates.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, that would be perfect. And then we can share. It's an easy format to share as a newsletter and to tweet in the forum post, like in the forum form, and have it in the forum.
And we do the work anyway. We do the work for the community sync. And it's just a matter of pulling it out and posting it in the forum. And maybe adding some more body to it for context and comprehension.
Yeah, I used to do this for Genesis, and there was a feature on top, and that was like the most important information of the week. And then the rest was like divided into updates or software updates or like different types of things. But maybe we can have this like a meme on top and the feature, and then that's the like boom information that we want it to be more impactful.
Cool. I think Chewy also has some ideas too, and maybe you both can work with Katie to get the right format and the right tone and all the stuff that we want for it to be.
Livy, we actually have a one-on-one for this tomorrow. If you want to join in, it is. Let me see. It's 5:30 CET. Oh, you are New York time, right? I think it's 11:30.
I have a governance call with from the workshop we gave last week at 5, but maybe I can jump off a little bit earlier depending on how it goes there. But if you're meeting for an hour, I can jump in the last half hour for sure.
Yeah, we're meeting for half an hour because we have the sprint retrospective after. But yeah, if you
right.
can make it, it's okay. If not, I'll share with you some of the work we did.
Okay, cool.
That's it for our agenda today. Is there any other points we would like to discuss?
Well, there was just the from the perspective of a hatcher, and I've said this a million times, but that article, how does the hatch work from the perspective of a hatcher? That article really should just be based off the legal content. It's already there. It's already with that audience, and we just need to get. I think Santi probably will have it done this week if he hasn't done it already, because it's literally just filling in the blanks with 83's, variables. So, but that just start. Make sure. I just want to make sure that it gets started from that point, because then it'll be really easy.
I'm not sure that was clear with Eduardo. I'll just drop that in his message now. Maybe it's better to put an update in ZenHub. Cool. And is there anything else that we can discuss, or we have 10 minutes before the steward's call?